Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention, I am honored to extend an invitation for you to grace us with your presence at Enzo's Butler, Exceptional English Club. Today we have prepared a most invigorating English lesson that is sure to tickle your fancy. We shall delve into the fascinating topic of sunk cost fallacy and Gollum, a pairing that is as curious as it is captivating. In our splendid lesson, you shall be treated to an exquisite essay, crafted with the utmost care and adorned with a plethora of splendid words. Words such as apt, well-being, belied, and strive shall dance upon our tongues, enlightening our minds and enriching our vocabulary. But fret not, dear friends, for we have not forgotten the phrasal verbs. How delightful they are! We shall sit up, saw off, ease off, and explore the depths of these linguistic treasures. And let us not overlook the idioms and sayings that grace our lesson like a gentle breeze on a summer's eve. At the end of the day, water under the bridge, and barking up the wrong tree, shall regale us with their wisdom and charm. Once the dialogue has captivated our hearts and minds, we shall engage in a delightful session of comprehension questions. These questions are designed to stimulate the mind and foster a joyous exchange of knowledge. And as the lesson draws to a close, we shall partake in a refreshing round of exercises. Vocabulary, phrasal verbs, and idioms shall be our companions as we dance through the English language, reveling in its beauty and complexity. My esteemed ladies and gentlemen, I implore you to join us today at Enzo's Butler, where exceptional English awaits. Let us embark on this journey of words and wit, for it is an adventure that shall bring joy, laughter, and a deeper understanding of the English language.
In a secluded manor, surrounded by a forest that seemed to never end, Enzo found himself before the crackling fireplace, his curious eyes flicking through the latest issue of the Economic Journal. His butler, an older man with a wisdom that belied his quiet demeanor, watched him from the corner of the room.
Butler, I've come across this term in my reading sunk cost fallacy. I'm afraid I don't quite understand it.
Sir, I believe I can clue you in on that. Imagine you're Gollum, from The Lord of the Rings. You have this one precious ring, a sunk cost, and you've poured years of your life, effort, and emotional well-being into it. However, holding on to this ring is harming you and those around you.
So the sunk cost is like the ring, something you can't recover?
Precisely, sir. Now, Gollum has two options. He could ease off his obsession and let the ring go, or he could hold on to it, believing that it justifies his sacrifices. The rational choice, according to economic theory, would be to let it go and consider only his current alternatives and future consequences.
So he's barking up the wrong tree by holding on to the ring?
You could say that, sir. In reality, people often have a hard time letting go of their sunk costs, believing that the more they invest, the more they should try to gain from it. This is akin to throwing good money after bad. The rational decision would be to forget about the sunk cost, as it's like water under the bridge.
But that's easier said than done, isn't it? Sometimes you have so much invested in something that you can't simply let it go.
Indeed, sir. That's what makes the sunk cost fallacy so prevalent. Consider, for instance, that you've tried out for a play, dedicated countless hours to rehearsals, but at the end of the day, you don't make the cut. Yet you feel inclined to audition again next year, not because you believe you'll make it, but because you're driven by your previous investment.
It's like you're swimming with sharks. No matter how hard you pull for success, if it's not the right fit, you're simply going to get bitten.
Very apt, sir. We must always be careful not to angle for things that no longer serve us just because we have sunk costs associated with them.
I see. The past investments, be it money, time, or effort, they are irrelevant for the future decision. We must sit up and realize that these sunk costs are no longer relevant.
That's it, sir. But of course, in reality, it's hard to wiggle out of the sunk cost fallacy. People often find themselves drawn to continue with failing projects or relationships, just because they have invested so much into them.
It's like they can't stop up the flow of resources into these sunk costs.
Exactly, sir. It might be more rational to saw off the parts of your life that are no longer beneficial, but humans are often irrational creatures.
I suppose at the end of the day we must strive to be like Frodo, letting go of the ring, our sunk costs despite the hardships it might bring.
Indeed, sir, Frodo had to add on a significant burden by taking the ring, but he realized the importance of letting go when it was the right time.
Just then, Enzo's phone rang. He glanced at it before turning back to his butler.
Ah, that's my associate. I must call him back, Butler. But I appreciate you taking the time to explain this to me. It certainly sits with me better now.
As Enzo left the room to return the call, the butler nodded, satisfied with their discussion.
I'm glad to have been of help, sir. Always remember, don't let the sunk costs swim with your future decisions.
And with that, they called it a night, each left to ponder over the lessons of the day, the lure of sunk costs and the wisdom in knowing when to let go.
Comprehension questions. Question number 1. What does the butler mean by, "Don't let the sunk costs swim with your future decisions"? Question number 2. What is the main lesson learned from the discussion? Question number 3. What is the rational choice according to economic theory? Question number 4. What is the significance of the analogy with Frodo and the ring? Vocabulary multi-choice. In negotiations, finding a win-win, what benefits both parties involved in the deal? A. Rational choice. B. Emotional. C. Agreement. D. Angle. E. Strategy. I really, what? The detailed feedback you gave on my business proposal. A. Appreciated. B. Enjoyed. C. Justify. D. Appreciate. E. Resources. John's, what? Presentation skills helped him secure a major business deal. A. Belied. B. Excellent. C. Appreciate. D. Apartment. E. Brilliant. Building a network of influential, what? Can open doors for new business opportunities. A. Leaders. B. Wiggle. C. Associates. D. Prevalent. E. People. Phrasal verbs multi-choice. I need to, what? The potential client to discuss the terms of the deal. A. Flicking through. B. Call down. C. Get back. D. Call back. E. Wiggle out of. She is, what? Her passion for entrepreneurship and her desire to make a difference in the world. A. Turning back. B. Driven from. C. Driven by. D. Characterized by. E. Flicking through. After working non-stop for weeks, it's important to, what? And take a break to avoid burnout. A. Ease down. B. Sit up. C. Call back. D. Take off. E. Ease off. While waiting for a meeting to start, he was, what? A business magazine to stay updated on industry trends. A. Sits with. B. Reading through. C. Flicking through. D. Flicking on. E. Wiggle out of. Idioms and phrases. Definition: to actively seek or try to obtain something. A. Water under the bridge. B. Swimming with sharks. C. Angle for. D. Barking up the wrong tree. Definition: the final outcome or conclusion of a situation or event. A. At the end of the day. B. Barking up the wrong tree. C. Water under the bridge. D. Angle for. Definition: to pursue a mistaken or misguided course of action. A. Barking up the wrong tree. B. Called it a night. C. Angle for. D. At the end of the day. Definition: to stop what one is doing and go to bed or end an activity for the night. A. Water under the bridge. B. Swimming with sharks. C. At the end of the day. D. Called it a night. Definition: being in a dangerous or risky situation. A. Water under the bridge. B. Barking up the wrong tree. C. Swimming with sharks. D. Called it a night.
I express my utmost gratitude for your attentive ear. If you enjoyed this lesson, kindly subscribe and share it with your friends. Should you seek further enlightenment in the intricacies of the English language, I do cordially invite you to pay a visit to Enzo's Butler.club and join our growing community of English enthusiasts. I am Enzo's Butler, always at your service.